Morning, Rob. Couple of teething difficulties again. I still can't get the second monitor to work. Every time I connect the second monitor and then try to stream, it automatically comes up saying that there's an encoding error. So I really don't know what that's all about. I'll try and figure it out. Just checking to see what games I've got available to put on a minute here. Doesn't look like much. Anyways, I'm going to have to follow the chat on my phone again. I've got everything set up. I'm just really annoyed that I can't get the second monitor to work. So that means, again, second week in a row I'm having to do it off my phone. But I'll get the chat off my phone. But we'll figure that out as we go, no doubt. So how's everybody this morning? Can't believe I'm back up at this time on a Saturday morning. A little bit different location from last time. I'm actually at home now, but still, it's far too early in the morning. Yeah, I just seen that pop up there about Shimizu just getting a second goal. Let's have a wee look. Nakayama with the goals. I was going to have a quick look at the games that were up and running and just see what the story is with those. I'm also going to just very quickly set up notifications for the K-League on my phone because I haven't got those on yet. Unfortunately, I don't know why SofaScore haven't they've updated the postponed match, but for some reason they've got one of these, like a phantom fixture there. They've got FC Tokyo against Kyoto listed there. I don't know quite why that is. Obviously the Tokyo Nagoya game was cancelled due to the number of COVID positives. I think it was Tokyo that had the issues. So yeah, it's interesting one there. So the lineups are out for all the 6 o'clock kickoffs, and they're kicking off imminently. So I'm just trying to see if I could get any streams of the games coming up. Let's see what we've got else here. Quickly look at the lineups as well first. I know last week I was looking at Thiago Santana wasn't in the lineup and couldn't figure out why, and it turns out he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. I noticed his price had halved. Obviously Shimizu signed the Korean striker as well, so there's an injury to one of their forwards as well. All very interesting, and Kyoto continuing their solid start to the season, 1-0 up away at Cerezo Osaka, and it's Takatomi that's got the goal there. And it looks like Kami Fukumoto is having another stormer as well. So yeah, solid start to the games. I've got my Consadole stack sitting in the lineup, and it's 5 out of 5. Rob fuming because it's surprising Kyoto. I mean, just straight up, and that's, they're on course for their second win out of 2. I'm not sure how many would have who would have predicted that. Daiki Suga's still not starting. Not sure what the story is behind that. I know he is clearly fit. He played the full game in the midweek for the cup. And the thing about the cup is, if anybody's new to the kind of following the J League, the teams that are playing in the cup are generally the reserves, substitutes, players coming back from injury. It tends not to be the starters, so you're really looking, if you keep an eye on the midweek fixtures, you're probably going to want to try and avoid having those players in your lineup, because those ones are more than likely not going to start. Morning, bud. Morning, Bruco. Here comes Bruco and his Kashima lads. Big game for Kashima today. Let's have a quick look at the starting lineups in that one. Kawasaki obviously lost midweek, so they're going to be looking to try and bounce back. Lost 4-2 away to Yokohama Marinos. So we're looking for probably a bit of a bounce back from them. Yep, Antlers going really strong, as you would imagine. I mean, they're not going to be going light at this point in the season, but the starting two from last week that had really solid games, Patuka behind them in midfield, some solid ratings from last week. And Kawasaki, they've started with Chanathip again. Yukubayashi starting up top. That's interesting. Where's their bench yet? Because of the midweek fixtures, and then they've got another midweek fixture coming up as well, so they'll probably be looking at trying to balance, having a full starting lineup out and then maybe rotating some as well. So Kobayashi starting up front for them. That's interesting. We've got games kicking off now, so we've got 6 games this morning. The other one starts at 7, but I'll only catch the first half of that one. Unfortunately, although the gaffer is allowing me to get in a little bit later, which is very nice of you, Paul. I know you're watching. Thank you very much. So that's allowing us to get things going. And I'm just having a wee nosy here. Hiroshima defensive stack. Oh no, come on now, Rob. No, my predictions for the games. I'm going. Well, the 6 o'clock kickoffs because the other games have already started, so it'll be a bit of a bit lame to go and claim results in those ones. But I'm predicting Consadole 2-0. Hiroshima are still kind of missing some of their firepower. Kashima Antlers, I'm going to go 2-1 Antlers in that one. Sagan Tosu, Shonan Belmare, 1-0 to Sagan Tosu probably. Urawa, they're definitely going to be looking to bounce back against Gamba, but I am going to go with 2-2 in that one. And see how that pans out. I should probably put a wee accumulator on that now that I've picked those games. I'm just going to quickly check and see if there's any streams that I can pick up online. Not through any nefarious sources, you must understand. What game is this? Oh, I've got Antlers versus Kawasaki Free. Yep, that's all the games kicking off now. Yeah, that should be decent. Looks like a decent stream as well. Happy days. I've got Kashima Antlers and I've got Frontal on there. I'm just going to get a quick picture of this ridiculous setup at this time in the morning. Not believing the stupid things that I do, especially from harebrained ideas. There we go, that's better. I've got the kick off. I don't want. I can tell I'm a complete technophobe sometimes. Right, happy days. So, Antlers on a early attack straight from kickoff. Looking pretty good. I mean, this should be a really big game, this one. The Kashima Antlers Kawasaki game. So, I'm going to open the chat back up again on my phone. Bet365 of the games, yeah. You know what, I'd have to go and get an account set up and everything on there, so I might look at that. I was actually thinking that I might have got them through a certain website. So I have got one. I was hoping to be able to rotate through the games, if I'm being honest. But I'll have a wee look. We have an early goal in the Kashima Antlers Kawasaki game, and it's for Kawasaki. According to SofaScore anyway. So what have we got going on in the chat? Red card for Iwata. Oh, so it is. Let's have a nosy. Yamamoto sent off. Right, okay. Now that's not going to be particularly good news for them, obviously. Defender as well. So 2-1 down already, 14 to go. Defender sent off, second yellow. So yeah, no, that's not particularly Not particularly positive. Oh, that's a horror error. I've just seen the goal there. It's look away, Sugimoto owners, and that is a disaster from him. Trying to be smart at the back, trying to play out from the back, and he's played the ball straight into the player who's only 6 yards away from him, and it's 1-0 to Kawasaki Frontale. My goodness. I mean, he was put under pressure, but that is horrendous. That's some of the worst defending, and that is a card that is extremely, extremely expensive. Well intercepted, very well intercepted, and 1-0. Good finish though. Yeah, big mistake from Segikawa, holding his hands up. He's probably going to be looking to try and make up for that one for the rest of the game. So, what other action have we got on the go? Well, looks like we've got an equaliser for Cerezo Osaka coming there. Once we get a little lull in the action, if anybody wants to know my thoughts on the Blackpool High B situation, I'll happily chip in with some for the people who have actually made the effort to get up at silly o'clock in the morning and jump on. I think we could certainly look at doing something about that. I'm just trying to see who's got the goal for Cerezo Osaka there. Thanks again for everybody who's joining. I mean, I genuinely am amazed that people are up for something like this. Takashi Inui with a goal for Cerezo Osaka. So that's 1-1 there. So that's Kyoto being pegged back early doors. Just watching here, we've got a corner for Kawasaki. Now I know, because my the stream is about a minute behind SofaScore, that I know that they're obviously not going to be scoring from this. Kiyotaki assist. Do you know what? Kiyotaki is one that I really should have picked up. When I was looking at the players that I could have got, he was one, and I chose not to pick him up. I don't. For the life of me, I can't figure out exactly why I didn't actually go with him. Oh, boy went down in the box there when the cross came in, but nothing given. Oh, and Antlers with a breakaway. What are we getting here? I just got a notification. Another red card at for Jubilo. And it is Fabian Gonzalez that's been sent off now. So where is that the substitute that's been sent off? Yeah, substitute came on in the 70th and he's been sent off in the 79th. Straight red card. Well, that's somewhat of a disaster for them now. So they're going to need to really kind of knuckle down if they're going to try and come back into it with 9 men. Yeah. Yeah, Rob, I really am kicking myself about that one. What sort of price is he sat at just now? Because I mean, obviously you can see on the screen now that I've got 0 ETH. I spent everything after my decision. Do you know that? I think that's what it was. It was his age, I think, that was putting me off a wee bit. I was thought, well, maybe being in midfield that he might clothesline an opposition player. That is some WWE stuff right there. I mean, it is. Oh god, his price was really high as well. I don't think his price was nearly that high just a couple of weeks ago when I looked at him, like before the weekend. Kiyotaki. Oh, what am I looking at? I'm looking, pressing the wrong place. Kiyotaki. No, he was. I thought. Yeah, 0.133. Still, getting the players where they're actually. Oh, that's a big chance missed without a shadow of a doubt. Number 20 for Kawasaki there. Shot from about 7 or 8 yards out. They're definitely trying to make amends for their defeat the other day, clearly. Yeah, MythP, it definitely is well worth having a look in the midweek fixtures to see who is in the cup fixtures and kind of making a judgment based on where they are in the cup lineups. If you see somebody starting in the cup, they are more than likely not going to be starting at the weekend. So doesn't mean they won't be, but it's probably unlikely if they've played in the League Cup games in the group stages. So just having a look there, yep, it was Shannon that just missed from about 6 or 7 yards out. Good save from the keeper. That's the game I've got on in the background. I'm going to just have a wee nosy and see if I can get the console game, but I very much doubt I can. But I'm more than happy to sit and watch this. I mean, this is the big game of the weekend pretty much for the J League. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Back up. Miyazawa. Yeah. I had him, I think, when I had the limited team at the tail end of last year. Are you watching the concert game on there? Yeah, you see, the only thing is, I've now not got an extra source that I can actually watch on Bet365. I'm able to watch on the Xbox through, a website. But because I'm having to use my phone for the chat and the laptop for the scores and obviously the streaming, I can't stream and watch the watch the game at the same time, unfortunately. So it is what it is. I'll just take what I can. If I get any updates from the concert game, that'd be fantastic. Just going to have a quick nosy. 10 minutes gone. 11 minutes gone now. Yeah, fairly nothing so far. Excuse me. So we look here at the latest scores. 11 people in the chat at this time of the morning. Oh, Consa goal. Hopefully it stands and hopefully it's something good. Yeah, I'm going to just say our website. It's, if depending on which one of my players has scored, I mean, it could be a he, I suppose, and it could have been a goal. But yes, I don't think I should strictly advertise potentially iffy streaming services. So yeah, I'm just do we know who's scored for Consa yet? I'm hoping it's Karaoke that's got the goal. It's Karaoke that has got the goal. 0.06 last week. I think I picked him up right before the stream last week, and the big man's got the goal. Who's got the assist? Is it going to be Gabriel Xavier? Oh, if only for an assist from one of the lads here as well. That would just be fantastic. So that's good. That's a decisive on the board early doors for me. Quite pleased with that. People say stacks are boring. No, they're not. They're tremendous fun. Would debate it's a Fukumori assist. Oh. Is it one of these dodgy ones where it's taken like a touch off of somebody's shoelace and it's not going to be given as an assist? I'll see if I can find the goal possibly on a load of deflections. Yeah, that's the thing. As soon as it takes the touch off of anybody else, they take away the assist. And I can understand why, but it does seem a wee bit... Oh, God, that's shaky at the back again from Segimoto. Very shaky at the back. That's... Oh, jeezy, Pete. Why have I got a refresh going on here? I've got to go and find the flipping scores again. Have I gone just past them there? Nope. Sorry, folks. Just... don't know why it's done that. find the flipping things again. Where have they gone? There we go. Back in action. Yeah, it's just coming up with that as being a karaoke goal. So surely isn't it getting? Oh, how's he managed to keep a hold of the ball there? Well played. Full stacks are boring. Split stacks is the way to go. Do you know what? To be honest, yeah, my America team last year was a split stack. Although they have credited Fukumori with the assist. That's why you stack. That is why you stack. You get the double decisives from things like that. Yeah, my American one last year was Atlanta defensively and San Jose going forward, and it does give you two teams to focus on. I've just actually really enjoyed watching Concert last season, and it's, you know, I got Kaneko mid-season, and I really enjoyed, you know, obviously I started watching a few of their games at that point, and they play some really, really good football. So it was just a team that I was like, you know what, that's my team. And then when it came to looking at other players to pick up, it tended to not be too expensive. And when I got Fukumori for 0.055, it was a no-brainer to go with it. And then Sugeno was the cheap pickup because of his age. People didn't think he was going to be continuing on for the season, and instead he's the Silver Fox is still in the goal. So yeah, I'm happy with just the one team to support on this one. Especially if I can get double decisives there. So let's have a wee look. Where does that put me? It's only got the one on it just now. But yeah, fairly nothing opening 15 in some of the other games. Shimizu look like they should hold on. If they don't, there's major issues when you're against 9 men and you're holding on to a lead. I mean, they're surely holding on for a win in that one. 30 minutes to go in the Cerezo Osaka game. And we're sitting at 1-1. Not an awful lot of action since the goal, really. I mean, it's kind of fairly even. It's been predominantly Consadole by the looks of things in the Consa Hiroshima game. Last week, I mean, obviously Hiroshima were fairly ineffective. That was one of the more boring games when you looked at even the attacking plays. They were, you know, pretty poor, to be fair. This game's actually quite exciting that I've actually got on the TV, the Kashima Kawasaki game. It's just a very fast style of football. I mean, people, because these games are on in, you know, middle of the night or super early morning for folks, it's probably one of these ones where people sleep on it as a league. And then when players randomly appear in, you know, like the Scottish Premier League, they're like, oh God, look, you know, this boy's fantastic. I mean, there's some really, really good players there. Well, that's probably a big miss from Yasuto there as well. I don't know if that was kicked off him and went over the bar, or if he's just put it over the bar from literally 2 yards. Nonetheless, goal frontal, yep. Let's have a look and see what's happening here. Yeah, I'm quite excited. I mean, it looks like obviously getting rid of the kind of lumbering big strikers. Is that the back post, number 15? That looks like, what a fantastic number 15 is to wear. Not that was maybe the number that I wore at football, but, well, my American football, certainly. Sasaki, back post. It was from the corner. Corner came on, flicked onto the back post, and finished beautifully, to be fair. Just trying to see if it's a defensive boy that gets the header. No, it was an assist. It looks like an assist from 31. Number 31, Yamamuro, with the head on and the finish. So it's a defender for a defender. So if you've got a Kawasaki stack, you could be looking at a double decisive if you've got the right players in there. No, that was a really good finish. Oh, look at that. 5th. I would take that. Let's stop the count right now. Um, yep, I'd be up for that. I'd be up for that. Yes, so what's everybody's thoughts on the Blackpool situation? Hybe, do we care? Um, Obviously, I don't think anybody thinks it's a good thing. Um, God, Kawasaki have won the ball. They're obviously hungry after the weekend there, or after the midweek fixture. They're really pushing here. I expected more from Kashima, to be perfectly honest, and they've not really had much of the ball at all. Kawasaki. Oh, good God, that's another horrific defensive mistake. Almost let Kawasaki in again there. Let's have a little look at the second Tosso game. Yep, they're on top predominantly. I think Belmare are one of the teams that are favoured to go down, aren't they? So you'd probably expect that. Urawa, you would expect them to be on top there as well. Quite a strong team. So, but then again, Gamba are no slugs themselves. I mean, how they lined up at the back? Yeah, Ishikawa still in the goal there. Imagine if you were sitting holding a backup Yokohama goalkeeper from last season, and all of a sudden to see him be a starter and to probably make about 10 times your money for what you actually paid for him. I'm just going to bring my phone up here. Could you explain the Blackpool situation? I've been seeing it all over Twitter. Yep, try and give an idea of my take on what it actually means. Encouraging multi and counting, I'll agree with that, as long as there's threshold people want to feel it. Yep. So Blackpool is essentially a collective of alleged investors, if you want to call it that way. It's a lot of the big hitters are in there. You know, you'll never walk alones and such like are all together in this. A.J. Was part of it, and as it looks, he left the group, and Hybe from the Sorare podcast has been given his account effectively, transferred all his players into the AJ account, and has essentially created another super account as such. And there was a bit of, because Hybe transferred his players in, none of the high value players lost their XP, and they renamed the account. There's a whole thing about T's and C's that have been broken on that front. I'm not going to try and dig into it too much, but essentially the guys do pool cards, so you will see some of these cards trading hands. If you go and dig a little bit on Sorare data, for example, you will see that the cards are being traded hands, and it's it's pooling cards. I mean, if the collection of us sitting here tonight, or this morning, sorry, have all got the pretty strong J League cards, we could probably pull out 5 of the best players in the league and put them all in one team and split the profits. In a sense, that's kind of where it's at. And it's been permitted because these guys were, almost all of them were early adopters. Some great football from Kawasaki. Yeah, these guys were basically early adopters, and they that's full time in the Jubilee Iwata Shimizu Derby, and it's finished with Shimizu winning. But yeah, they're early investors, and because of that, they have, whether people will admit it or not, there is clearly sway between them and Sorare, and they've got away with this since day dot. If you do a little bit of searching on, you can do a search on Twitter and look for the multi-account and stuff from You'll Never Walk Alone from when it started. It wasn't against the rules, so he wasn't breaking the rules at the time. I think at one point, I don't know how many accounts because it was before my time, but there was a number of accounts all put together. He sent all his players basically, using the referral system and transferring all the players over to one account in the end. So, and that's how it created the big account. So these guys do have sway. They're big backers, they're big investors, and you know the notification that came out yesterday from Dan. I feel really bad for Dan. Some people don't. Some people think he's in that situation and it's his responsibility. But for him to be left with it, you know, the higher ups should really be the ones that are coming out and saying stuff about it. But they're not. It's left to Dan to put out a thing saying, you know, yeah, we acknowledge that it's happened, and we're going to take the XP off of it. And to me, that was kind of like the XP's insignificant compared to the bigger picture. It really is. I think the XP was just, to me, that, I mean, if a player's got, you know, 4% extra bonus or 2.5% bonus, that's somewhat irrelevant compared to what's actually happening in the bigger picture. So I think that was, you know, like, oh, we'll slap your wrists for doing this, because the rest of it's been ongoing for the last couple of years. So good luck to Hybe. I've had a few personal interactions with Hybe in terms of, you know, just chats through Twitter and things like that. I was obviously on the Sorare podcast right at the start. I think a lot of people have been turned off to that, which is a great time for myself and Russell to be launching a podcast. Sagan Tosu have got a goal there. For me and Russell to be looking at Scotland Sorare, sorry, for launching our podcast in the next couple of weeks. It is going to turn a lot of people off to them. You know, I would wish him nothing but the best. You know, go for it. Do what you feels right for you and your family. I mean, it's people are saying sold integrity. It's, you know, his business. But for the bigger picture for Sorare, it's not a good thing, I don't think. And yeah, we'll see how it goes in the next few days. I think Monday or Tuesday will be, maybe we'll get a wee bit more from, maybe even from the higher ups, but I wouldn't necessarily bank on it. We'll see what happens. So that's my take on it. Probably all I'm going to say on it. I might say some more in another video once we get a little bit more coming out about it. And also, I think my guest on the first Conversations With might have a comment or two about it. It should be fun. Yeah, the XP thing, definitely cheating. That's the thing. I get that is cheating, but I think in the bigger scheme of things, that's secondary to what is, you know, this, you know, the pooling of the cards. You know, it's that's where I think there's a bigger issue than the XP. That's maybe just me. Yeah, exactly. I mean, anybody, that's the thing, that, you know, if a bigger group wanted to go and try and do that, then grand. You know, it becomes quite farcical. But because of the level of money that's involved here, I mean, if they were to be suspended, you're going to end up in all kinds of lawsuits and everything like that. So I mean, Sorare, it's sometimes you make your own bed, and I think that's the situation that it kind of is there. Lack of communication, lack of responsibility. Yep, I do agree. There has, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, I do think there should be more is being said or being done. I think, you know, they've probably been caught off guard by it themselves. They're having, you know, so they're going to have to try and formulate what their actual response is going to be, because the ramifications would end up legal, because I mean, all they would have to do is probably challenge the T's and C's, and it would just end up in a big mess. So I think what they need to do is put something in place clearly black and white from here on out in terms of new ones coming in, but then they have to obviously try and deal with the current situation. So it has been radio silence a lot from Sorare recently, especially when it came to looking at the reward system and things like that. And that's not been a positive for me. And I think I did comment on Twitter about the rewards stuff not being great. And this week it was better, and there are more cards up for grabs. Although Asia is still only 120. But it has moved up, at least. It moved up 20%, which is, you know, is a start. So I do give them the benefit of the doubt that things will get addressed, because I mean in the year I've been on the platform, when there has been things, they have tried to deal with them, but I personally don't like the radio silence over the last kind of, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks. Like to think there's maybe something big going on behind the scenes with them obviously trying to get the Premier League, but this is quite a black eye when they're trying to negotiate something like that with the Premier League, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, Bruco, I agree. I agree. I do. The lack of, I mean, to be honest, I thought some of the Ask Me Anythings were a bit, there'd be a couple of people would ask pressing questions, but then there was also, the fanboy element where it was, there wasn't, there was a lot of fluff questions, so there has to be something. Maybe I'll reach out. Maybe I'll do conversations with Nicholas. Maybe I'll message him and see if I can get that on the go. That would maybe break the Sorare internet if we could get something like that on the go. um, but yeah, no, I don't know. We'll see what comes up in the next few days. Other than making a few kind of comments here and there on Twitter, um, it's probably going to be mostly what I'll leave it as at the moment, and just see where it goes from there. And then, I don't want to be knee jerk and make silly comments that are heat at the moment, knee jerk kind of comments. As I say, hi B, good luck to him. He has kind of probably burnt his respect from a lot of people, but you know, have at it. If it's best for him and his family, go for it. That is what it is. And all the best to him. So we'll see how it all pans out. Anyhow, I think we'll be back to our coverage of the J League. I should really scroll down and have a wee bit of a look at the K League. There was only a couple of games on in the K League, I think, this morning. Suwon Derby 1-0 to Blue Wings. And then Incheon United 1-0 up against FC Seoul. I do apologise for anybody that's interested in the K League. It's something I just always shied away with because I found it hard enough to find information for the J League alone without having to go and dig for a whole other division. I've tried to. You'll probably see that in my gallery. I mean, I've got a lot of Austrians because it's easier to keep on top of Austrians and Turks. I can keep an eye on the Turkish league and keep an eye on the Austrian league. But when if you start spreading it across Belgian league, Dutch league, MLS, you're suddenly trying to cover maybe 8 or 9 leagues and trying to keep an eye on it. It's I do find that quite hard to avoid the DNPs basically. The closer you are to your cards and your teams, the easier it'll be in the bigger picture. Yeah, there is now. When I started last year, there really wasn't, and that's why I kind of just focused on the J League. And I do see a lot of the K League players that people are picking up, and you see some of the scores, and it is like, geez, right, okay, there is definitely talent there. It was just the one thing that put me off was the national service stuff. So I got a wee bit nervous about, oh God, does that mean your players are going to vanish for 2 years or whatever else? Kind of that sort of thing, which was a wee bit of like. Especially when I was starting out and I was only playing with maybe, obviously I had the 300 quid start and, every penny was a prisoner. I mean, it still kind of is every penny a prisoner, but yeah, I mean, that's 100% why I avoided it was the military service, and I was just not sure that was something that I was going to be able to cope with. Losing a player, but especially at that time. I mean, now it's not. I mean, I hate saying that because it sounds like bragging, but because it really isn't. Sometimes like you look at the gallery and it's like, right, okay. I mean, like, can you afford to hold a card that's worth maybe 60 or 70 quid now for it to be worth a lot more in the future? But for me, I've always been like, that 70 quid, I can hopefully use that to buy another card and try and trade my way up from there, and build up my profits that way rather than hold it on long term. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, if I'm The Sorare Japan Patreon. I mean, I've subscribed to that since, well, I subscribed to it when I started following the J League, and I then also started to follow it again when I started building the J League players back up. So that was something I was definitely looking at doing. The other one that is it Murayatsu? Let's see if I can find. Oh, what's the lad's name? I'd have to go and find it. I can't. You know, it's early morning. I can't remember the boy's name. It's like Murayatsu or something like that. That has the puts out the predicted lineups, and yeah, I'll have to see if I can find the account that's linked to. But yeah, no, Murayatsu, he's one of the best ones for it. His lineups were very, very close to on the money. I'm just going to go on my phone here and see if I can find him on there. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to share that because that's the mistake from Sugimoto at the back that I've just shared on Twitter if you've not seen it. Yeah, no, it's... I can't see it just offhand, but it is one that if you're... I will share it when I see it. But no, he does his starting lineups, and they have been genuinely kind of, you know, on the money or very close to it. Nah, I can't find it. I mean, they should be on my follows actually. Apologies for the radio silence. There we go. Matsuyama. His lineups for the J League have been pretty good. I mean, I think if I go and look at his concert lineup for today, I think it's on the money. I think it's absolutely 100% on the money. I might actually go and do a wee comparison with his lineups to the other games as well and see how close it is in those ones. And this is a free resource, so you're not looking at paying a Patreon fee for it. He's actually putting these up. If I was putting this amount of effort into it, I would probably be looking at having this under, you know, behind a paywall, because it's Takamine. Yeah, his console lineup is 100% accurate. 100% accurate. I mean, I know it's maybe it wasn't a stretch, but you know that if somebody's giving me 100% accuracy or even close to it, it's worth the resource. I'm going to just go and share his page on here for those. There we go. That's that done. Yeah, Matsuyama. There we go. Everybody's corrected me on that. I was busy searching and I couldn't see it. Yeah, Matsuyama. Perfect. It's... Do you know what? It's the fact that people do this. This is the great thing about the community. You know, like so many people are putting in these resources, and at the end of the day, all it's actually doing is creating extra competition for themselves, which is quite selfless, especially when somebody like that's not charging. I mean, if he had a donation button or something up like that, I think, you know, even if everybody who'd benefited from it sent over like 0.001, it would be, you know, of benefit. and quite fair too. Just going to have a quick look at the scores on the doors. 2 clearances, been foul, 1 key pass, 1 shot off target. Fukumori, I don't. You're going to have a hard job telling me he's not one of the best defensive players in the game. I think there was a bit of a chat about it last weekend after I posted it up. If the possession lost scores weren't as harsh to defenders, he would be probably the man on the game. I think last week he would have been on 99.8, I think it was, if he'd had no possession lost. But that could be said for a lot of defenders. That is quite harsh with that on them. So, coming towards the closing stages in the Sorare Osaka and Kyoto game, still 1-1. 5 subs made by the home side. Yeah, not looking too exciting. I mean, not looking too exciting there. Konsa, yep. Hiroshima have been coming into it. Definitely been coming into it. Oh, yeah. No, the boys, his spraying these passes and everything, it's great to watch, put it that way. I just want him to stay injury free. I mean, 0.055 I paid for him, which was 180 quid. And I think the cheapest ones on the market are about a quarter of an ETH at the minute, which is obviously closer to 500. Kiyotaki close again. Chanithip's down at the moment. I think he might have just taken one to the great googly mooglies. That doesn't look fun. Yeah, he looks like he's still winded. I didn't actually see what happened, but he is. He's poor lad. He's still winded. Yeah. Sagan Tosu 1-0 up heading into half time there as well. Only 5 minutes to half time. Where does the time go when you're having fun, eh? Fujiwara with a goal. Good thing with some of these lower teams though is if you look at their centre backs and stuff, yeah, you might not get the clean sheet bonus for the the plus 10 for that, but you do end up quite often with decent all round scores. Yuta Masao from Oita was one of my players last year, and he was always scoring. They'd still be losing games by a couple of goals, but he was still scoring in the early to mid 50s most weeks. Apart from when he would get himself sent off, which did happen here and there. Kenny Wow, he was another one I was looking at picking up. Kenny Wow, because his scores were always very, very consistent, and again, I wasn't sure if he was going to continue. And then obviously he transferred, and his price went right up. So he was one that we could have had in the gallery as well. But that said, I'm quite pleased with where I'm at with it. I'm just going to have a quick nosy and see what the score total is at the minute. All the way down to 12th. Nonsense. 266. Not going to be enough at the moment. We're going to need a good push on from that. So Kaneko only in 35. He's been fairly ineffective so far in the first game and a half of the season. Could do with a wee decisive or something from him to get his scores going. When it gets to half time, I'm probably going to go and get the rest of my work stuff together. So there might be a little bit of nothingness in the background. But I should only be a few minutes till I get things. Oh, that's potentially another big chance missed. Good save from the keeper, got down well to it. Number 14, I can't quite see the number. Oh, we've done a wee refresh again. fantastic. Oh man, this is pissing me off when it does this. Here we go. Don't know why it refreshes when I've not asked it to, and it's a live update anyway. But yeah, Kashima Antlers been pretty disappointed, to be honest. I was hoping for a wee bit more of a competitive game, but it's really been one-way traffic. I mean, I'll say that, and hopefully they'll maybe get on top. Maybe Bruco can get his strikers on the go. Yeah, I did see that Hiroshima were coming back into it, looking at the scores there. Always good for at least getting maybe a save or two from the keeper, but I mean, his is all just passes. 19 out of 24 passes, not too shabby. Not too shabby. That's half time starting to come in. That's Urawa 0, Gamba 0 at half time. I did hope again. I did think that there was going to be more from Osaka in that one as well. I can't even remember. I'd have to go back and look and see what I said for the scores. I think I said it was 2-0 Kronsa. I said. I can't remember what I said with Kashima. I think I said 2-1 Kashima. I did say 1-0 Sagan Tosu, and I said 2-2 at the back there. Looks like I should have went with Kuroki over Suzuki. Kuroki, what a bargain. I mean, 0.06 I got him for last week, and I thought it was going to be a punt, but I'm delighted to have got a starting striker for that sort of price, especially now that he's got on the score sheet, because that'll hopefully help keep his place in the team. If Kaneko doesn't pick up his performances, I might have to try and look at Lucas Fernandez, because this is not what I'm looking for, to be perfectly honest. To be fair, I mean, although he's on 0.06, I mean, he's had what, four duels lost out of 4. Beyond that, it's not terrible. But I can see him getting subbed. So hopefully he picks it up. Yes, nothing quite like a punch and a high claim. Perfect. We'll see how it goes in the scores. But a clean sheet, because I've got the 2 defenders and the goalkeeper, a clean sheet is almost a must if I'm hoping to win anything. So an extra goal from one of them, maybe Kaneko assist or something like that, and a clean sheet, that would be perfect. Yeah, do you know what, Bruco, you're right. I didn't think he would be a starter when he went here, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, you're right. Kaneko could stop playing as a wing back. That would be fantastic. Gabriel Xavier coming in and taking that attacking midfield role has really, really hampered Kaneko in the first 2 games. And that's also why Daiki Suga's not playing, because he would be playing on the left and Lucas Fernandez would be playing on the right, and Kaneko would be playing up there. So there is a few kind of butterfly effects from Considole having those players in there. Let's have a look at the halftime performers in the Urawa game. 2 midfielders with the big scores, 7.1, 7.0. Not a lot else happening there. And for Gamba, Gentamura, I mean, he's always going to get decent scores, isn't he? Usami, so 7.1, 7.1. Goalkeeper 6.8. And then Sagan Tosu, it's been predominantly them on the ball. Fujiwara with a goal and the high score, 7.2. They've got 3 on 7.2, that's pretty solid. That's the game's going half time now. 2-0 with Kawasaki and Kashima, and 1-0 with Considole and Hiroshima. So I'm not sure how the gaffer will feel about me rocking up to work wearing my concert top, so I'm going to probably just go and quickly get my my work ones together just as the last game goes to half time. And yep, there we go. Sagan Tosu 1-0 up at the half there. So we've got a couple of minutes left in injury time with the Sarazo Osaka. I will hang on for that, and then I'll quickly get myself sorted out, and I'll be back. It should only be a couple of minutes. I jumped up and had to shower before before I came down for the stream because I thought like I'm not going to have time for it to do it any other way. So just need to get a couple of things together. But yeah, it's half time in the. I mean, Antlers are going to have a lot to do in the second half, so hopefully they've got a wee bit of fight about them to come out and get something going. Where are we now? So 2 minutes added on so far. Didn't have an actual add-on time being put up on this one. 3 minutes added on, so it must be about the last minute of the Sarazo and Kyoto game. I mean, that's another 8.0 from Kami Fukumoto. What? That's been two really, really strong performances from him. I'm probably going to jinx it by saying that, so apologies if anybody's holding him. 8.1, 7 saves, 1 punch, 6 from inside the box, 4 clearances, 1 aerial duel, 1. I mean, God almighty, that's going to be some decent scores, eh? And he wasn't expensive. He was quite cheap because his team got relegated, didn't they? Or am I'm sure his team got relegated. Or certainly they were one of the bottom end teams. But yeah, it's been a really good scoreline from him for the last 2 weeks. So if you're holding him, you're almost definitely getting some decent scores. I forgot to bring in energy drinks last night, so it's just Pepsi Max this morning. So if it's a wee bit more subdued, that's pretty good. He's been good in goals, to be fair. Yeah. I mean, it's high stats. It's hard to argue with that. Morning, Weaselman. Up the Sapporo, indeed. Sugeno was linked with them, and then he ended up signing his new deal with Consa. I think I should have checked that, but I'm pretty sure it was Nakano that was on the bench again. Yeah, it is. It's Nakano that's on the bench again. I'm hoping Sugeno has a couple of good games, not just for my points tally and stuff like that, but to try and drive down the price. Sarazo 1-on-1. Yeah, it's they did miss. If Sugeno's that's full time 1-1. If Sugeno can get a couple of good games under his belt and make it less likely that Nakano's going to immediately jump in the goal, it'll hopefully drive down his price from that silly price that he's at the moment. I think I said that in last week's one, I cannot justify the better part of 500 quid for a backup. Somebody's got one listed at a silly price. They're actually all listed at a silly price, to be fair. $650 for a backup goalkeeper. I mean, I'd probably be comfortable getting up to maybe like 0.15, but going up as high as that ties up so much money. So much money to tie up without yeah. That's the thing, I know, but I think his is just too high. I don't know. Long term, it's probably going to be a good pickup. Maybe when the European season, if Sugeno still kept the shirt until, April, May time, and I can maybe look at switching out one of the European goalkeepers to pick him up, because obviously the European season will be coming to a close in kind of April, May time. So maybe I will look at trying to pick him up at that point. I'll be back in a couple of moments. some breakfast. And I'm back. So, yeah, just had to go and get the dog out and things like that. So if you hear any crunching noises or anything just now, it's just the dog having his breakfast. Yeah, it wouldn't be enough at the minute. There we go. So, how's everybody's teams looking so far at the half in these 6 o'clock games? That's almost. I think there's another game tomorrow in the J League, isn't there? Or am I imagining that? I feel like there's a Sunday game. I think next weekend is a Sunday weekend, which would be good. Just to change that up a little bit. I'm keeping the top on for good luck until I go to work though. If the score gets up and over sort of 320, 330, I might actually wear it to work just because that might be enough to hang on for a tier 3 at least. Yeah, recent signings. I panicked with all the Russian stuff that was going on. I'd picked up a few Russian players that I'd been holding, and a couple that I picked up in the last week or two that I was really looking forward to getting in my lineups. But I counted it up and it was over 600 quid's worth of cards, and I just couldn't bring myself to take the risk that of their season being suspended, or things like, obviously it's happened with Remy Cabella, says he's not going back to the club, obviously French national, so probably not wanting to be there, which is understandable. What is it, pal? What are you saying? You come to say hello? You come to say hello? Come on. Come on. No, he's having his food. Sorry, the dog's just kind of mumping and moaning and looking at me like I'm stupid, but then he's probably wondering why the hell I'm up at, this time doing a video. But yeah, no, I decided I had to kind of get rid of the Russian lads, and I got a really fair deal from what I thought. It was about 80% of Sorare data price, given the fact that there were, 2 of them were definitely going to be DMPs this weekend, because they're in that kind of area. It was just the right thing for me to do, so I lost about 120, 130 quid on them. But I did manage to come in and pick up Kanak, Pink, and Lodchoshvili. So I'm looking forward to seeing scores from them. Cash Bomb was obviously one that I got as the reward last week for the Challenger, which was nice. So second half kicking off already. That's the Urawa Gamba game kicked off. Wonder if I can get any more feeds. Let's have a wee look. Nope, just lots of... What are you saying? You come in. Up you come then. Come on, up. Shadow. Hi, come here. You've been video shy. You've been video shy. People will want to say hello to you there. No, you're not coming to say hello. He'll probably go back up to his bed. He usually does as soon as he sees football on the TV, because he knows that he just doesn't like football. He doesn't like shouting or anything like that. So usually if it's a Dundee game or something like that, I'm watching it and I'm might be shouting at the TV. So he doesn't quite like that. Aye, aye, aye. So second half kicked off in Sapporo. Still 1-0. Has there been any changes? Nope. Yep, you going back to your bed, pal. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. Had enough of the feed, and he's offski. So what other games have? So we've only got the 4 games going on. Like last week, obviously we had a full set of fixtures, and that was pretty decent. But this week it is a wee bit slower in terms of that. Thank you for everybody that's put a thumbs up on the video as well. I appreciate that. I think that's us all back underway. So that's the 4 games back, and hope for big second halves for everybody. Kashima Antlers. Actually, no, sorry, it's Kawasaki that have got us underway in the second half. Right to left. Kashima surely have to try and push on from that first half. They were really ineffective in that first half, so you would think the second half they really need to kind of be pushing on with that. But they're really calamitous at the back. There's so many clearances where they've kicked it straight off their own defender or what have you, and it's just happened again there. It's not looked good for them. They've been really shaky after obviously a strong performance last week. But yeah, they have not settled from the very early get going. It's actually been good being able to watch some of the games this week. At least I've been able to get one. Last week, obviously, when I was in Spain, I couldn't get any of them. But at least this time round, I've got a couple. I'm just checking to see if there's been any changes at the half in the games. So there was 3 changes in the Urawa Gamba game. Ohatag off. Pereira, Yanzaki. Not names that I'm particularly familiar with in terms of coming on. Ishigi rings a bell. Sagantosu, do we have any changes there? Yep, we've got 2. Shuto Machino is on for Elianusi. He was one last year. He was under 23 eligibility last year, and it was a card that I kept wanting to get. But then he fell out of favour and just fell out of the squad, so or fell out of the starting lineup anyway. It's a good ball in, well defended. Yeah, so this game here that I'm watching, they didn't come up saying there'd been any changes, but there's been 2. Sekikawa Gawa off at the half again, second week in a row. Misao on, and Nakamura on for Doi. So a couple of changes there to try and push things on, but I mean honestly it's so calamitous. I mean they're on the attack again. Kawasaki. This could be a long afternoon for them. Any J League stat you can get going for about 0.4. Depends on your goalkeeper situation. You'll struggle for a goalkeeper. If you've got a common one, you could. There's definitely players you could pick up. Anybody got any recommendations that they would like to throw forward for Antonio? Off the top of my head, 0.4. I mean, if I don't know what. Oh, well, that's interesting. It's just got a little bit darker in here because one of the light bulbs is just blue. Perfect. Give me 2 seconds. so that should hopefully brighten up a wee bit. Yeah, no, I don't understand. That's there's obviously something going on with the electrics here, because that's another bulb going. Yeah, quick ones off the top of my head. I'll do a quick search on my phone. Yeah, is it for rare or limited? That's a good. It's a very good question, Rob. See, with waiting for the new cards, one thing that's actually in the benefit of some of the older cards, like the 2020 cards, is the fact that they won't lose their. They don't have a 5%. The 5% bonus to lose when the new season starts. So that gives them a wee bit of an added benefit when you see the ones that have got like 9.5% or 10% or more. That almost caught the keeper out. A wee chip ball in, but it seemed to move in the air there. Limited, yeah. Limited, you could definitely do. If you had a common Asia goalkeeper, you could definitely build a team for rare with 0.4. If you're looking at limiteds, God, you've probably got a fair pick at 0.4. I'd have to have a look at the prices of the players, to be honest. I'm quite nosy on my phone whilst we're waiting for some second half action to go. Good ball in. Oh my goodness. That's another big chance missed. And this one is for Kashima, and trying to see who it was that just had a horror miss. Need the number. Number 14 took the ball down well. Oh, his hand was pulled a wee bit that threw him off, but he scooped it over the bar from about 7 yards out, skiffed the top of the bar. Should have been finishing that one. But that's going to be lost points for... the manager drops to his knees after that effort. Yuta Higuchi, I believe that was, that just thundered that over the bar from next to no chance. Yeah, hit the woodwork, big chance missed. Yep, absolutely. That should have been a goal. That really, really should have been a goal. Maezawa. Kaneko still struggling. Daiki Sugar owners will probably see him come on very soon. No free kick given inside the D there. Right, so we're having a look at limited. Oh, there it is. Gaffer in the house. Morning, Paul. You said watching this on the office Wi-Fi. I'm not sure that's does that count as misappropriating company property? There we go. Hiroshima have got an equaliser. Of course they have. Limited. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you could probably see what cards you've kind of got your pick at 0.4. It would really come down to who you think is going to be the better scorers. But yeah, typical Hiroshima. Getting the goal there. Anybody that was watching the game able to say what actually happened in that one? Morishima with a goal. Just a long shot. That's disappointing. That's very disappointing, because a clean sheet was a must in order to get a card. So that's almost definitely any prospect to get a card going. But hey ho, we can rock on and see how we keep it going. Sugeno, yep, 1-1. Still sitting on 257, so you never know what can happen in the next half hour or 40 minutes or so. Still not an awful lot from Kashima going on. Kawasaki are looking much more like the team that they normally were last season. Yep, Daiki Suga's come in. Who's he come in for? Gabriel Xavier. So, oh, well, that's good news. If he's coming in for Gabriel Xavier, that might well mean that Kaneko's going to move up to Cam. And the two wing-backs switching over. That would be excellent. And that's just done its little thing again. Really wish it would piss off with that. Yeah, Daikishu. So hopefully that does mean a lot of kind of change in formation. That would be good if it gives Kaneko a chance to actually get something going. Yeah, Kashima, they have had more of the ball, but they've not really been. They've had that big chance there, but that was about it. But they still seem very, very shaky. That's going to be a card, is it? Nope, just a foul, Bring the chat back up. Shot cleared off the line by Hiroshima. Yeah, and Antonio, if you want, drop me a DM on Twitter, and I'll have a look at that at some point today, and see where what other options there are as well. Because I would have to do a wee bit of digging, and between my phone being tied up with the chat and my laptop being tied up with the scores, I can't really get on at the minute. But I'll definitely have a look and see what there is as an option for you if you drop me DMs, and that way I can contact you back about it. But yeah, it's. Oh yeah, we've got the Vissel Kobe game kicked off now. Has Iniesta returned, or is he still on the bench? Let's have a wee look. No, he's returned to the lineup. I think they lost in midweek as well, or did they draw in midweek? But yeah, Iniesta back in the side. That was definitely needed. And well, I mean, Mikawa's still in the goal, but Akura's still not on the bench, so I don't know if that means for definite it is Mikawa that's in the is the clear number one. So we'll still find that out, I guess. Yeah, Daiki Sugar. I'm just going to have a look and see if it looks like his. Yeah, Kaneko's moved up, hasn't he? Yeah, he's definitely moved forward. That's good. That is good news that he's moved forward a bit. Yellow card for Fukumori. Always good when you're losing points for things like that. When you're desperately chasing them now. Yeah. But let's look at the Avispa lineup as well. I didn't do that. Lukian continues up front. Oh, an injury already. Groli, one that you see quite often. May, he was one that last year as well was fairly consistent in terms of his scores as well. Kind of been about the 50 to 54 sort of mark. Because I had looked at him. His price was a wee bit high last season when I was looking at those players. But yeah, been substituted out already for Mijima. But no, yeah, still no Kikuchi in the lineup. Sakai is there, Makino is there, Kobayashi in as well. Daiju Sasaki, he was a hold I had last year, under 23. He's got a forward card as well as midfield card, so he was a super cheap forward option for me last year because he did start or at least come on at the half for most of the games. So in the threshold team, he was one that I always had there trying to at least scrape, the 25 points from him. Consadole's kind of pushing forward a wee bit more now by the looks of things. One key pass, one shot on target, that's good. Still no Jules one. I think there's a VAR check for a potential handball here in the Kawasaki Kashima game. The players appealed for it. It was at the corner of the box. The ball kind of was played up and it did appear to hit the hand. The referee's got his hand to his ear. He's holding up play. Clearly getting a wee bit of news about it. I'm just waiting to find out if it is or it isn't. I'd have to have a look at the what the scores have been there. It does hit the hand. It does hit the hand here. It's played up to him. No, it doesn't. It does. It hits the chest and then the hand of the other player. I don't think that's going to be given though. Fairly certain that's not going to be given. No, it's not. It's just a corner. Just a corner. Average scores for winning the cards. I don't know. I mean, last week for Asia, because there was only 100 prizes in the rare ones, it was you needed 330 or more to get into the card positions, which is quite high. But I don't know what it was for the limiteds. Let's have a wee look. Should be able to find that out from last week. Not even sure how many prizes were up for grabs in the limited either, to be honest, because it's not something that I really pay enough attention to, is the limited prices and things like that, because I still don't really see the value in in some of them. So that would have been this one. Few results. I should have checked the prize pool first. Prize pool for limited Asia last week was 350 places were paid. I'll just try and get an idea of how many that was. So limited Asia last week to win a card was 319. So just a little bit less than the rares. But yeah, 319 you needed then. So you're probably realistically looking at needing 325, 330 or more. Yeah, you're right, 319. On with it. So yeah, I think to win a card in anything, you realistically are having to look at scoring about 325, 330 plus. And again, it depends. I mean, some of the weeks, especially if you're in like in Challenger Europe, for example, if Ajax have a monster week, or some of like a Benfica or a Sporting or whoever have a massive week, then you're really needing monster scores to try and even win like a card. So yeah, it's not always easy. Just looking at the possession based stuff here, Kashima definitely been more into the game, but although they're pressing, I wouldn't have said, other than the one save that the keeper made, they've not really. I don't think Kawasaki are going to be too fussed. They're quite happy to just absorb and let them have the ball. Sagantosu 1-0 still. Doesn't look like there's been much pressing going on in that game either. Urawa still 0-0. Still mostly Urawa with the ball as well by the looks of it, and a lot of pressing. Stat based 13 shots but only 3 on target. So there you go, 70% possession. If anybody's a FIFA player, they would feel that that was being fully scripted now for a Gamba goal. Vissel Kobe still 0-0 there. 22 minutes in, still tied up at 0-0. Roshma been more on the ball, but it's not really resulting in anything. So, yeah, I agree. I agree with the 350. You know, if you build a team for that, I mean, obviously that's when it does start getting costly, because you're having to look at players that are going to be averaging in the 60s, really. You know, but I mean, it is essentially a pay-to-play game. But you can do it with some of these smaller teams as well. You know, because you can pick up some of the players that are, you know, under the radar because of who they play for, or because of their age, or what have you there as well. So there is always that scope to look at it that way too. The main names you do have to end up paying a premium for, eh? So, morning, Jamie. Nice and early this morning. Yes, I know. Already been up for 2 hours. A couple of substitutions here for Kashima. 18 and 9 coming off, so that's Ayase. He's pretending he can't see it, or he's just not had the notification. Oh, he's just realised he's going off now. Or maybe it's the wrong number that's up. No, it is. It's Ueda and Everaldo going off. No, and Tsunemoto going off. Everaldo and Hirose going on. I've got the lamp in front of the TV now, which is a bit unfortunate after the light bulb going. Yeah, not been a lot of action in the last 20 minutes or so, but we have 20 minutes to go in the games, so we'll see what happens there. Just quickly checking what the scores on the doors are. Yeah, significantly dropped down, only on 260. That's nowhere near enough. Nowhere near enough. The clean sheet is worth about an extra 55 points to me, so I kind of, you know, without that clean sheet, there is no way to get a card on this one, unless I get another couple of decisives, or I just don't see it. Maybe next week I mix it up. I have got other players there, so maybe next week I do mix it up a little bit and see what the options are. I mean, Lucas Fernandez does look at an option as well, to be fair. Sagantoso, we've got anything going on here? Oh, a long range shot from Kawasaki there, but nothing threatening. Sean and Belmere have got an equaliser. Somewhat against the run of play as well, to be fair. We'll see who's got that one. Just taking a big jump up in scores there, I don't know why. Yeah, just jumped up about 10 points, don't know why, but hey ho. Sugiyoko, is it Sugiyoko with the goal? I very much doubt anybody's watching the Sagantoso game is on there. Is that Big Davy Kempton in the office, Paul? You need to get him sorted out. He must pay pee the bed too early in the morning to be up at this point to be in his work 45 minutes early. Yep, Shooto Machino with the goal. So that's good. Off the bench and got the goal. Yeah, late Sapporo winner. Kaneko for from Tanaka would be good. Or from the keeper maybe. Right guys, I'm going to be back in 2 seconds. Just need to go and do something. Oh, sorry guys, what have I missed? I was expecting to come down and see Hiroshima had scored again or something. Mega early Saturdays indeed. Karaoke and Lucas have been subbed off. I would take that from Karaoke though. I could really do with the points picking up from elsewhere, but it's one of those things. It's hilarious. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter. I posted up a comment that was put on last week's one saying how much of a last week's video. Somebody had obviously gone on it and they put what a scam. Sorare is a scam. can't see any of the goals, can't see anything happening. This is kind of bullshit. So I took a screenshot of it and put it onto the Twitter feed and just put on it something along the lines of, was like, who put 50p in the idiot? I don't know quite what they were expecting. Obviously the concept of Soccer Saturday was lost on them. Total balloon. We've got a save from Sorare at least. 3 interceptions, 4 clearances, 2 or 4 shot blocked, assist, key passes. Yep. So Fukumori having an alright game, not as good as last week. A lot of interceptions between the defenders. Well, that's 7 interceptions between Tanaka and Fukumori. Fukumori with he's behind on his duels. Could do picking them up. 1 shot on target, 1 off, 1 blocked. The thing hindering Kaneko's scores is the fact he's had absolutely zero duels won. In fact, the team have lost almost every duel. Their duels lost must be... They've only won 32 to 51 from Hiroshima. So that would probably explain a bit of that too. Oh, is this an injury? Is this somebody going off on a... I had missed that there. I was too busy looking at my phone. I missed somebody going off injured. Sasaki has gone off on a stretcher. Not too sure what happened there. I think it looks like muscular to be fair. Yeah, last 15 or so. Kawasaki's still looking fairly comfortable, to be fair. I can't see Kashima getting back into this one. I'll say that, famous last words, I'll have jinxed it and there'll be a goal almost instantly. But not an awful lot of action. When there's only 4 games running, it's, well, 5 actually, sorry. This one just kicked off. Oh, here comes the dog again, he's going to boot the door open. Hey boy, come on. Come and say hello. Up you come. Yeah, come here. Say hello. Say hello to everybody. Say hello to everyone. Yeah, I feel like that too, boy. He's a good boy. Are we going to get a late Consadole winner, Shadow? He's like, no, I'm too tired for that nonsense. Too tired for that nonsense, aren't you? Yeah. Anything happened since I've been looking down? I thought that just actually changed to a 2-1. You lying down? Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. There we go. Dog's debut on the live stream. I think he walked in on one of the videos before. Yeah. Honestly, I couldn't have believed that. Oh, the injury. Yeah. No, the injury probably wouldn't be that funny. But, yeah, no. It was just so stupid. It's funny when you get comments like that and you get... I mean, that was easy. You could just remove it. They obviously didn't get the concept of what was going on. But then it's the DMs you get on Twitter every now and again. And I'm just like, okay, cool. I'll just... Antlers in general have been quite poor. They have been quite poor. Oh, Kenny, wow, with a red card. Fukumori's been subbed out. That's a bit of a nightmare. Let me see. How has he played? Right, I've just figured out who it is. It's the keeper. He's been okay. He's not been given a lot of protection. The first goal was a horror one from a defender. Surimoto kicked it straight at the attacker to score. There wasn't a lot he could have done to it. He has had a couple of good saves. There was a couple from inside the box that were, had a decent chance. But after they went 2-0 up, they've not really Kawasaki have just kind of let them have the ball and absorb the pressure quite easily. So yeah, it's not been great. Are you off ski, are you? Gamba have just taken the lead against Urawa. Kiyotaki be the captain for the season based on yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, Fukumori will probably be my captain moving forward as well. He was the same last week, and he's done it again this week. I think he's averaging just shy of about 90, but about 70, so he's on mid 60s anyway. So last 2 weekends, Eduardo last weekend. I know about it. So, yeah. Sometimes can be a wee bit of roulette with the J League. You do sometimes just suddenly get DMPs out of nowhere because the teams don't sometimes come out with the information right away. Often it comes out afterwards, like last week when I found out that Thiago Santana was out for 4 to 6 weeks. That didn't come out till midweek. But yeah, goal for Gamba, Fukuda, or as my son calls him, fuck you da. I don't know if he's saying that to me particularly, or if that is just a name that he's pronouncing that way. But yeah, 1-0. That's a bad one for Urawa. And down to 10 men as well. That's a double hit in the space of a couple of minutes. So you would be looking for them to hopefully get back in. Heavily deflected goal, yeah. You would be looking for them to hopefully try and push back in. Kamai having a good game. I did look at him during the week there as well, so maybe that's one that I look at as well. Not an awful lot happening. How's Daiki Suga's scores? 6.9. Daiki Suga's having a pretty solid wee run out. He's hit the woodwork. 3 shots. Actually, one is duels, unlike some of the other ones. An interception. So yeah, Daiki Suga's having a fairly solid one. Few handballs now. Handbags. Okay. I was wondering about handballs. I was like, okay, random. We're just going to start wildly swinging our arms around and hitting the ball. Hello. Welcome to the chat. It's been quite a decent one this morning. Apologies, it's been a wee bit fractured again. I'm going to have to find out the problem with having the 2 monitors. As soon as I've got the 2 monitors running and it's completely fine, but as soon as I press the broadcast, it comes up with an encoding error. So I don't know if it's something I've got wrong in the setup of the layout that's causing it. So I will have to try and maybe do a couple more live streams during the week just to see if I can get it nailed down, because it's not ideal not having the chat available without being on my phone basically. Last 5 in the games, or the 6 o'clock kickoffs anyway. Consadole still pushing for a late winner. Back-to-back draws wouldn't not be the most ideal scorelines. They have just brought on Junior Santos Hiroshima as well. Kawasaki making a couple of changes there as well. Goal scorer Shannon's gone off. Demal's come on. I can't imagine he's going to be particularly happy about being on the bench again, but hard to argue when the guy that was there scored. Should have been 2-0 Gamba. The game's changed sometimes so much on a red card, and sometimes it can be the opposite way you expect, but yeah, it's not great for Urawa. Back-to-back defeats, week 1 and week 2. Yeah. Player down here. I think the Kawasaki players are starting to try and play the whistle and drag things out a wee bit. It's alright, Paul, I'm getting my work shoes on. Getting ready to go. Everaldo came through the back of him, to be fair. Oh, and to be fair, somebody had gone through the back of that other lad there as well. Yeah, no, one of my bugbears with footballers is gloves. um, Gloves would be at least a 1 week fine. I don't care how cold it is. If you got your gloves on, that just, I don't know, shows weakness. Hands up the sleeves, however. I'd probably say a 1 week fine for wearing a pair of gloves, but hands up the sleeves, that is probably tantamount to termination for your contract, to be fair. Oh my goodness, Demal, you're not seriously claiming that. He's just literally thrown himself to the ground there and claiming for it. He should realistically be getting booked for that. Gloves and short sleeves, oh my goodness, don't even. We've got a player at Dundee that does it. Paul McMullen, he's one of my favourite players, to be fair. But the fucking gloves. I've always said that to Christian at his Sunday league. I was like, I don't care how cold it is, hands out the sleeves, no gloves. At the end of the day, like if you've got your sleeves rolled up and you're cracking on like that, it really does. It kind of puts it in the opposition's head as well. It used to be like that American football when I played that. The linemen would never wear long sleeves, regardless how cold it was. They would never wear long sleeves. And I think even some of the teams like Green Bay, when they play in, like -15, -20, the linemen are still not wearing long sleeves because they see it as a weakness. Because the other teams like, oh no, they're soft because they're wearing long sleeves. That's a wee bit extreme. And it's kind of like what Rob's just said there about the America game in Minnesota where it was -17. I mean, the NFL games are like that all the time, eh? Especially in the extreme north. Oh, cheeky chip from a long, long distance. Keeper's got it though, and he's quite comfortable. Even still, Todd, no gloves. It's funny because see sometimes when even like in like August, not even August, probably into September time, when the boy for us, Paul McMullen, he has his gloves on from then, and you're just like, come on, buddy, get the gloves off. I'm all about no gloves. 1 week fine for a pair of gloves, but hands up the sleeves, that just shows laziness. I'm never up for hands up sleeves. That's definitely a grounds for getting your contract ripped up. If it was Football Manager, I would absolutely have gone and released him. Right, last few minutes. And then I will have to... Oh, penalty to Urawa. Oh, Terry and Reid did get away with it, to be fair. I'll grant you that one. Really soft penalty. Once again, I've moved up to 6.5 at least. It's not even being checked. Oh, it's been changed to a free kick. I'll be gutted by that. But yeah, last few minutes. There is quite a few soft free kicks and things like that I've seen certainly so far in the first couple of weeks. There you go, big man. That's exactly what it is. Shinty up the Highlands. That's what you need. That'll teach you cold. Come on, Considole, late winner. The 5 subs each is, I understand it, but really must disrupt the game. I mean, 5 changes there for both sides. So 10 players subbed in. I mean, it must really disrupt your momentum. I'm guessing that Urawa didn't score from the free kick. It's funny that the man of the match there for Urawa is still Ken Iwao with his 7.4, even though he's been red carded. Yeah, penalty cancelled, it says there as well. Yeah, this has been a very, very comfortable game for Kawasaki anyway. Very surprised. I thought this was going to be a really competitive end-to-end type game, but it's not really been. It's fizzling out now. The Kawasaki are just managing the time. Playing down towards the corner. And that's it's a half-time. Vissel Kobe 0. Avispa 0 as well. So... honestly, thank you so much to everybody that's joined in with the stream and contributing in the chat. I get called mental for for doing like videos at this time in the morning and stuff, but I'm going to be up watching the game anyway, or trying to track it and stuff like that. So why not? And I'm not the only one, clearly. At the minute, we've got 17 in the chat at the moment. So I mean that's pretty decent. I'm happy enough with that. And if people get a wee bit out of it, or just fellowship, that's the main thing, eh? So, yeah, I'm going to work on the layout. This week's been a wee bit manic. I got back at 2:30 in the morning on Monday and was straight back to work in the morning. And because Paul's such a slave driver, I haven't had a day off, and then he was asking me to go and do overtime next week as well, which I've had to turn down because I was dealing with migraines during the week. So, wee bit of rest will be good. But yeah, I think you're right. I think they will hopefully grow over the season. I'm going to try and keep them going pretty consistently. Just whilst I'm at it, I'll just double check. I'm fairly certain next weekend is they're all on the 6th, so that is next Sunday instead, isn't it? Let me just double check calendar. Yeah, so next week is a Sunday, so it'll be a special edition of the J League Soccer Sunday, which is good because it's still, the alliteration still works on it, so we're all good. Dying embers of the games. Yeah, don't worry with it. I mean, this morning I was like, God, my alarm was going off at 5, and I'm like, what am I doing? I was like, should I really just put up a tweet saying I don't feel well or something? But then I was like, no, committed. Stick to the cause. But no, it's fun. I enjoy it. The only thing I'm still kind of trying to get to terms with is I'm trying to plug gaps, where there's not an awful lot happening. So maybe we'll try and see if we can, I don't know, we'll figure something out, maybe run a competition or try and see what the highest score will be in terms of, we'll figure something out to make it a wee bit more interesting for people to follow. We'll maybe get picks in on Twitter, but you have to be in the stream to have them count or whatever. We'll see. Just to make it a bit more entertaining for everybody. But the good thing is the games next week, they are all kicking off around the same time. So we've got 1, 2, 3 games at 5, and then 1, 2, 3 games at 6, and then 2 games at 7. So it might be a marathon session next week on Sunday. We'll see. We will see. Constable are playing at 5, so it might well be a marathon session. But that is a wee bit early. But we'll figure that out as we go. Yeah, up at... Well, that's decent then. That's a good thing if it's paid off getting up early. Yeah, do you know what? I think that's one thing I could do. And the polls, I mean, things like that, I'm going to have to figure out how to actually, excuse me, the last week and this week have been the first ones that I've done on live. And it's something that I'm really needing to try and get my head around and figure out the software for. I'm sure it can't be that difficult. But I will certainly try and add a wee bit more to it with that. That could definitely be a shout with the polls and stuff like that. Yeah, just a wee bit of general chat and things like that. What I might actually even do is try and see if I can pull some information together, like the predicted lineups, and we can see how good the predicted lineups for are from different experts and see how that ties up. Like I say, you can go and look at these pre-game. Obviously, things can change, but it can certainly be. I do think that would be a good shout with some polls and some general chat. So it looks like we're heading to full time. Considole 1-1 again, so that's another draw under their belt. Not an ideal start to the season. You would have hoped they would have picked up at least one of the two games as a win, but we'll take it. We will take it. I think the final score on SofaScore for them is 275. It's not going to be enough for a card, but it's it's all right. It's all right. We'll build. Where is the games? Yeah, so 60 from Fukumori, 50 from Tanaka, 69 from Karaoke, 34 from Sugeno, and only 30 from Kaneko. So, work to do. Full time 1-0 for Gamba as well. This is the last couple of minutes. 6 minutes added on in Kawasaki. Free kick in the corner now. This game's beyond dead. It's and the match finished. Sagan Tosso 1-1. So, on that note, guys, I'm going to have to leave it because I'm going to have to head off to my work. Can't escape it all day, unfortunately. As much as Paul likes to think I'm work shy, it's one of those. Yep, there we go, full time. So we've seen out the games. Thank you so much to everybody that's been involved in the chat. I will speak to you all again soon. I'll put up a wee post on Twitter. Yep, here's the background again. So I'll figure some of this stuff out as we go forward as well. So yeah, thank you very much.